Welcome back to another video. My name's Carl Gosling, and today I wanted to answer a question a few of you have asked me time and time again over the last few months whilst I've been doing sim racing videos, which is what wireless keyboard I use in the videos that you see. You often see me start and stop screen capture or alter settings in games and things like this. So I thought, well, may as well throw a quick video together about it. And this is the keyboard I use. Get a little close up on it there for you. It's an IOGear, the model number is GKB635W. It's a 2.4 gigahertz wireless jobby. It doesn't have a numeric keypad. It's not a wireless keyboard in the sense of like a gaming wireless keyboard where you would then accompany it with a wireless gaming mouse. This is an all-in-one. It's got mouse buttons and a scroll wheel on the top left there and a trackball on the top right. Now, I specifically wanted a keyboard in this form factor, and the reason for that is I use this for two things. I use it for when I'm sat in my sim rig, like you've seen, in which case I don't want to have a separate mouse. You know, I want it to be an all-in-one, and I use it as a home theatre PC keyboard or for just browsing the internet, watching YouTube from my sofa, which is where I'm sat today. So having a built-in mouse makes the world of difference. You just don't want two devices sat on the sofa. It's not comfortable, it's not easy to use, it's a pain in the arse. So this does everything all in one. Now, I've had a few different types of these over the years. I tend to get through them every couple of years because they get dropped, they get beer spilt on it, they get drinks spilt on it, you know, the cat runs across it, all sorts of stuff. So keys gradually tend to get, you know, sort of broken off. In fact, I've got an old one upstairs that I should have brought down to show you. That's got about 4 keys missing from it. This one is now a couple of years old, and it still has all the keys attached to it, and it's still working perfectly. All I've had to do is take it apart and clean out the trackball mechanism because it's had beer spilt on it and it's got sticky. But it's only a few screws that hold it together on the back. You can take it apart, you can clean it out should you happen to spill stuff on it like I have. Now again, going back to why I chose this one in particular, because you can get ones with trackpads. You can get ones with trackpads at the bottom, trackpads to the side with mouse buttons there, trackpads here, mouse buttons here, all sorts of slightly different configurations. I do not like trackpads, like full stop. I don't like using them on laptops, although if you haven't got a mouse, it's probably the best option. But in this form factor here, in fact, on a side note, you might be able to hear, you can hear that stuff rattling around inside. This is how much abuse it's had. Like I say, over the last couple of years, it gets dropped a lot, so there's stuff rattling around inside there that shouldn't be. But anyway, the reason I like this form factor is because you can hold it in two hands, use your thumb on the trackpad to move on the trackball to move the mouse around, and then your left thumb, left click, right click, and scroll wheel. So you can literally just sit here almost like it's a game controller, browse the internet, click, scroll, navigate, whatever you want, without having to take your hands off, operate a trackpad, then click a button, you know, and somehow try and balance it, you know, on your lap or wherever you choose to be using it at the same time. In this form factor, you just grip it. There's slightly raised bits at the back here. You just hold it and you operate it like a gamepad. You can go through the menus in your sims, in your games. You can browse the internet. You know, if you need to type, obviously you set it down and you type, and then you pick it back up and you just use the track ball and the buttons and the scroll wheel on the left-hand side. And for me, that is the most convenient form factor I have found as far as an all-in-one wireless solution goes, both for, you know, sim racing and for just home theatre PC use and browsing the internet, you know, from the sofa here on the TV. So, as far as features, trackball, obviously, scroll wheel, left and right click here. It's got, across the top here, you've got shortcuts for, this is the internet browser, home, back, search, email, and then 3 different DPI settings, 600, 1000 and 1600 for the trackball itself, so you can adjust the sensitivity a little bit there. You've got media controls. This is one of the only things I don't like about this keyboard compared to my previous one. Media controls are all here. And if you see, they're in a different colour to the F1 to 12. Because the reason for that is because there's a function button down here that you need to press, and then you can press the media shortcut keys up there. Now, on my previous keyboard, I had dedicated media keys. There was space for them. If they wanted to put them along the top there, they can be small, they don't need to be big. That would have been perfect. But at the time I chose to purchase this was really the only option with the form factor of trackball and mouse buttons and scroll wheel that I wanted. So the sacrifice was to have those media functions as secondary functions. It's not the end of the world, because if you're watching a film, if you're watching YouTube, if you're about to race, in a sim of some sort, you set your volume once and you pretty much leave it. And that's all I use the media functions for anyway. I don't use the other. You've got skip back and forward, play and pause, and there's mute as well. I only use the volume up and down. And once I put the volume where I want it, the keyboard gets sat down and I'm watching my film, or I'm racing, or I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I'm browsing the internet, maybe just got music playing in the background. So that's not too big a deal. That was the only sacrifice I had to make. It runs off of 2 AA batteries, which go in the back there, behind there. They last so long that I can't tell you how long they last, because I maybe change them once a year, something like that. If you put good ones in, of course. If you put cheapy Kodak ones in from the pound shop, they're going to last about 10 minutes. But if you throw a set of Duracells or Energizers in there, you change them maybe once a year. And I use this a lot. I do most of my internet browsing from the sofa here, because it's just put my feet up, it's just a more comfortable place to be. My screen's in front of me there. So this gets a lot of use. Those batteries do take a caning. From a gaming point of view, I have actually used this WSAD in first-person shooters, because I've got a wireless Razer mouse, and I have brought it over here to the sofa. I was revisiting the original Crysis the other day, because they're doing a remake of that due to come out this year, and I was just showing my girlfriend Katie, she'd not seen Crysis before, and I was just showing her how good the graphics were even still today. And I was playing it sat here on the sofa with my Razer mouse in my right hand on a cushion, just on one of these cushions, and this on my lap. And I didn't notice any input lag on the direction key, so you could do that if you wanted to, but it's not really what I wanted it for. What else can we talk about? So beside the battery case, you've got your on and off switch and a reset switch. That resets the wireless connection just in case it drops or you get interference or whatever. You can do that. The keys are low profile keys. You can quite clearly see that there. Very similar to laptop keys, so you're not talking MX Cherries or anything like that. They are low profile laptop keys, but they feel nice. And I have typed a fair bit on this. They are spaced obviously slightly differently to a full-size keyboard, but they work, they feel nice. You're not going to be sitting there typing out Word documents and essays, because that's not, again, what it's for. For me, the keyboard is almost secondary to the trackball, and left-click, right-click type scenarios. I only use the keyboard to type in a search term, and from that moment on, I'm browsing using the trackball and the mouse functions. And again, if you're using this for sim-related stuff, you might have a few keyboard shortcuts set up, but probably not, because you wouldn't have this sat on your lap whilst you're racing. I've done that in a few videos just because I have been dicking about and it's forever sliding off, so I wouldn't recommend that. But yeah, the keys are fine. None of the print has worn off in the 2 years that I've had it. Every single key still works. The wireless reception, I can't remember what the advertised range of 2.4 excuse me, megahertz connection is, but you're never that far away from the PC. It's never really been a problem for me. Now, there will be excuse me, there will be links to this, both eBay and Amazon, in the description below if you want to grab one. I'd probably recommend this over the other offerings. I've tried smaller ones, about yay big. They're just not practical. They're really not. Too fiddly. You can't really type anything comfortably, and the trackballs on those are just tiny little things. Or you could go bigger, and have one with the track pad out the outside. But again, for me, it's about being able to hold it and just use both your thumbs without even thinking about it. After about half hour, it's second nature. You don't think about it. So yeah, I would recommend this one over some of the others that I've tried. And at the moment, this is the only one I can find in this form factor of this sort of medium, smallish size. Like I say, the smaller than this, too small, bigger than this, too big. This, for me, just lives in our little storage thing here in front of me. You can't see it, it's off shot, but it's a puff that I rest my legs on. The top lifts open, I put it in there, put it out of the way. It lives in there with my Xbox controller as well. So, you know, again, having something a bit smaller is slightly more preferable. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Oh, the only thing I will say, over the last couple of years, there was little rubber feet here and here, and the same at the bottom there, and they've just peeled themselves off over the last 2 years. They're almost too grippy for their own good. They would grip on things and have gradually just peeled the adhesive off the back, and I've gradually lost those feet one at a time. I think the last one actually went last week, thinking about it. You just randomly find this little small rectangular rubber foot stuck somewhere, like to the bottom of your sock or onto a t-shirt or something. But aside from that, it's done pretty well and had a lot of abuse. So yeah, if you want to grab one, it gets my recommendation. It's had a lot of use. It's been dropped, it's had alcohol spilt on it, it's still going strong. I think they're about 60 quid. 69, 70 maybe, I can't quite remember now, but I'll throw some links up. If you want to grab one, it'd be great to do it through my link. I'll get a few pence out of the sale, which all helps towards the channel. And again, speaking of helping towards the channel, as always, I appreciate you guys that donate every now and then. Those couple of pounds help. And of course, again, my single patron, big thanks to you for going monthly. I appreciate that as well. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. As always, take it easy.